Good day, my friend. I want to bring you up on so much to talk about today. So much. I don't even know where to start. So I'm warning you, if I ever seem disjointed, elliptical, desultory, I have scattered energy. There's so much to discuss, I don't even know where to begin. And I was thinking about something before. I want you to keep in mind what it is that I want you to do, what I want you to be, and what is the purpose of this. What am I trying to explain? Wait a minute. I got another pollen alert. I love that. Somehow I live my life like a candle in the wind. No, I live my life without pollen alerts, but now okay. I'm going to give you an analogy, a story, and I'm telling you what my goal is. This is what I'm trying to do. Years ago, I was explaining this to these young folks. There was something that we had called obscene phone calls. I don't know if any women ever had this. They were very distressing. And it was at a time when we used to answer the phone. When we had a phone, we might have even had, like our grandmothers had like a pad, with this big heavy phone, the Bakelite phone with the big heavy, the receiver, you could kill people with it. It had the wool cord that went into the wall, and there was maybe a little chair. I mean, it was the phone. And you always answered it. And it was the phone. And you had extensions and teenagers' phones. It was a different thing. Now, by virtue of the way we live, if there's a number we don't know, we don't even pick it up. We don't even answer it. We don't touch it. So years ago, there was a friend of the family who, this woman was very distraught. And she said, I'm getting these obscene phone calls. She was nervous, kind of embarrassed. I said, well, here's what you need to do. Listen to me carefully. I said, first, because I was the prosecutor in family. Go talk to him. He knows. Like, I know. But I did actually prosecute one of the last obscene phone call cases I think anybody's ever done, using a pen register, and it was very interesting. In any event. So what I said, well, first of all, remember, the people who are doing this are cowards. Number one. They do this in order to shock you. The moment you let onto them, and the moment that their identity is revealed, they're gone. They're through. They never want contact with you. They never want to meet with you. This is the thing that people don't understand about Anthony Weiner. This is the part about people who use text messaging as a version of being confrontational. Look at me. I'm this satyr. I'm this hypermenschulate, whatever it is. I'm Pan. I'm this, but I don't want to meet you. I don't want to meet you. I just want to send pictures. I want to talk to you and be, but I don't want to meet you because I'm a coward. I have no interest in flesh, meeting, contact, none of that. I'm just over here in my own world. I'm safe. I'm a big talker. But as long as I remain in my lane, that's it. Remember that. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. And I always thought to myself, Anthony Weiner never was in the same room with this person. Never couldn't pick her out of a lineup, probably. It could be just think about this. It's like writing letters to somebody. Think about this. Did you ever meet her? No, I just wrote obscene letters. What? Yes, that's all I wanted to do. In any event. So I said, next time this guy calls, you say, I know who this is. And I know what you're doing. Click. Watch what happens. Sure enough, went away. Why do I bring this story to your attention? This is my goal. This is my goal for you. This is my prayer for you. This is what I want. This is it. Everybody else can do whatever they want to do. Some shows want to just give you headlines, and this is what happened. Here's Hunter Biden. He went to court. Ooh, here's Donald Trump. He's on trial. Here. I want to tell you what things mean, but I want you to be able to tell the powers that be, the shadow government, the deep state, the police state, the intel state, the ruling class, whoever runs this show, I want you to be able to say, I know what you're doing. I know what this means. I know what's happening. You're not catching me off guard. I understand what you're doing. I understand history. I understand perspective. I know why this is important. I understand what this is doing. I understand the psychological and sociological implications of this. I understand this. I happened to watch this morning this romper room news called Fox News. 3 children sitting on a couch talking like they were yammering in a dentist's office and they just met about there's superficial, there's the superficial of the superficial, and then on top of that superficial, there's not the first cellular veneer of the topic. Nobody's getting into detail. Now look at the things in the news today. Hunter Biden. Okay. This is what they do. They give you a deadline, or a headline, or a deadline. Hunter Biden. What about it? Well, it's Hunter Biden. Enough with the B-roll. Ainsley or Dookie or Ducey or whatever. You tell me. Kill me. What does this mean? No, I understand. He went. No, I understand. But why are they? Why is he subjecting to this? It'd be so easy. They could sit there and say, "Listen, Mr. President, yeah, don't even worry about it. We got friends of. We're gonna make. I think they made a deal or something. $2.5 million, whatever it is. We're gonna make her a deal. We're gonna give her and her child a trust fund. They're gonna go away, never be seen from again." Did you ever hear of Marla Maples? Nope. Remember, Marla Maples was married to Donald Trump. They have a daughter. I don't even know where Tiffany is. She's out of the picture too. She's. But anyway, but Marla Maples was the, I guess, second Mrs. Trump. You never heard from her. They made a deal with her. She doesn't exist. Fine, thank you. I'm happy. So why didn't they do it? They didn't do it on purpose. They didn't do it on purpose. So understand this. This doesn't have to be like that. To make Hunter Biden, Hunter must be saying, why am I going to this Arkansas court? Just pay her. Dad, come on, big guy. I'm putting myself out there. Just make her a deal. Nope. No, you don't understand it. There are people, Democrats, all... If you went to Geffen or Spielberg, just anybody, Bill Gates, can I have too much? Like, they don't have it themselves. The guy could sell 3 paintings and that's it. They're doing this on purpose. Understand this. He's actually claiming penury. He's claiming that he is without the funds. This is absurd. Why are they doing it? That's the issue. But what Fox News wants to be, especially, and I just can't watch this, is that after Tucker, they're sending out a message to their shareholders. Don't worry, we're never going to get into trouble again. We're just going to sit back and go, that's it. That's what it is. Can you believe that? It's another balloon over. What is that all about? That's it. No depth, no nothing. No hits, no runs, no errors. Next, last night was the Met Gala. Now stop right there. Stop right there. What was that about? No, I'm serious. I just did something on my private channel at LionelMedia.com. Let me give, I'm not going to say it here. Ooh, no. But let me just give you a little background. We'll kind of talk around this. Since mankind first walked this planet, since man walked, humans became in love with symbology, symbolism, dance, representational art, symbolism, vestments, helmets, hat, makeup, tattoos, scarring, studs, piercings, ring neck, whatever. Dancing to the moonlight. Everybody. That's a terrible song. We were dancing in the moonlight. Have you ever heard the story behind that? Look it up. It's horrible in any event. Dancing. Light. Fire. Rain. Dressing up like the wolf. Just the big. It's in our DNA. symbology, symbolism, the semiotics. Last night, Mrs. L had something which was the most, I don't use the term amazing. We have a friend of ours who is 102 years old. 102. He's a Catholic priest. He is the oldest priest of his order in the world. And he is doing his 75th anniversary of his ordination. And there were nuns, these incredible nuns. They're called the Sisters of Life. And they are devoted to helping. I'm looking at this right here. This and reminds me of the old days. Sisters of Life. This is a Roman Catholic religious institute following the Augustinian rule, contemplative and active religious community dedicated to the protection and enhancement of the sacredness of every human life. And they're called in Wikipedia anti-abortion causes. Well, what they do is, if a young lady is pregnant, they say, if you come with us, we will help you. We will give you a place to stay, we will take you to the doctor. We will help you with that baby all the way to term, meet other women, and we will place it for adoption. We put our money where our mouth is. We don't just say stuff. We don't just say, hey, yeah, life, great. You gonna help me? What? You gonna help me with this? No, I'm into sloganeering. That's all I do. So they're with the veils. This is the Catholic Church. I remember the Catholic school, parochial. We always remember our nuns. I have absolutely 100% respect for nuns. They were incredible. Growing up, incredible. They were. I mean, I'm serious. You can say whatever you want about the Catholic Church and this and that and the Pope and blah blah blah, but parochial school in the '60s. Wonderful. And I looked at that. Look at their veils. Look at that. And I mean the veil. Not this. Today you can kind of sort of tell. But they all travel in packs. You know, they remember the old days. They were in like a station wagon. You know, the nuns were. But look at their clothes. Then there were priests all over. There were bishops and cardinals and missionaries and missions, and some were priests with sandals and their beards, and it was wild. In this church, with this music and the smell and the lights and the candles and the drone. Pater noster quies in Kailis, sanctificated nomen tuum, ad veni ad regnum cum fiat voluntas. Fiat voluntas in Carlo, panem nostrum quotidianum, da nobis hodie, ego vexilla unitorm statum, Americae ac rei publicae, quam designat fidelitatem spandio, uni nationi sub deo vindivisibile cum libertate atque justitia omnibus. The drone. Why is that? It's not by accident. It's coming. Kinesthetic. When you were a baby, Mama rocked you. Buoyancy. Everything's symbology. Recognize this. When I heard, I'm very emotional, and I don't cry over things like usual stuff. But I get emotional when I hear something that's beautiful. I hear sometimes a song. I'll hear a progression, a song, a phrase, a minor chord, something, I don't know what it is, and I swear to you, I lose it. It's like the ultimate of, and I celebrate this because I'm a human being of the highest order. a song can evoke emotion in me, I don't want to say Ubermensch, that's the wrong connotation, but I am, it reminds me, you are one refined dude, and you're the same way. When something so beautiful just overwhelms you, you're just, oh my God. And when they sang America the Beautiful, oh my God. And I thought of my country. And there were these people, young and old and black and white and this and that, and there's gay contingent. Everybody was in this place, this old, one of the oldest, it might be the oldest cathedral, whatever, in the world, where this 102-year-old priest, who, by the way, had his first communion here, his baptism, his ordination, everything in this Hell's Kitchen, it what blew my mind because of what it meant. Because of what it meant. That's what I'm trying to do. I want you to say, I know what this means. I know what you're trying to do. I know what they're doing. I get it. That's what, not necessarily who these people are. I understand this. I understand what the news is. I understand what's changed. I understand what's happening. And at the very same time we were doing this, in this celebration of nothing but just 102. Now, a lot of people will say, well, someone told me it's clear as a bell. Well, sometimes you think, But I tell you, this man is as clear as a bell. I mean, I heard a speech. It was like hellfire and brimstone was a good way. To hear this man say, and to believe in the Spirit. And he has this great, of God. Whoa, I got it. Solemnity, an absolute adoration, and a conviction, and a belonging to something. Fealty, the way people feel this connection to their country or their military or their cause or their family. It was, I've been thinking about it, and I'm looking at this, and there's these people, and nobody's asking for anything, everybody's respectful, everybody's just, and then they had the retired detectives were there, and they're wearing their kilts, and it's just, it was beautiful, beautiful, and the smell of a church, old, and the candles, and there's this, wow. And I realized what's happening. This is an assault of the senses. Yeah, they could have this outside, but it misses something. And the reason why is because this takes symbolism, symbology, sensory, sentient type of things, sound, lighting, music, incantation, hands, this, up, down, procession, vestments. You got it? You got it? That's what this means. And it's important. And you think, oh, we don't need that. Yes, you do. There's a reason for that because you're a human. And no matter how advanced you think you are, there's a reason for that. Okay, now we get into this thing. Now across, almost directly across, a little bit up and across the park, was the Met Gala. Now, what was that about? Do you understand what that was about? Do you understand what that was about? Look what they were wearing. Look at their clothing. Look at this. What are you going to call it? Debauchery? Please don't use the S word. Please don't get into Satan. You're missing. No. Let me go back to this. At the beginning of time, we had something that started, and it might have been the idea of somebody being famous. And the people who were famous at first were politicians, kings, queens. They were famous. Little by little, fame spread. Yeah, there was entertainment, but, and there were some actors and actresses, but they didn't understand the idea of fame. It was proficiency. Well, cut to the chase. Now we have people who are famous. Now imagine this. You are a person who is of not necessarily the greatest of moral character, but nonetheless you are a person who has found themselves in the position of being famous for whatever reason. You have more money. And I just did this at LionelMedia.com. I just did this one story of people that I've known, because I'm not going to mention names here. Ooh, and I don't mention, but friends of mine who have worked in the business, who have been at these things, and understand something. Listen to me very carefully. If you want to see, if you want to, you know how sometimes people say, "Hey, there's an eclipse coming," or "Oh, there's a meteor shower." Okay. You want to see where the freaks are? You want to see what the freaks are? No, seriously. There's a, it's like the salmon are going upstream. It's whenever you have any kind of an award ceremony. Academy Award, number one. Every freak, and I mean freak, every debauched, callow, empty vessel of humanity drives up, shows up, and for a week or whatever, they all hang around together. And as I said, what goes on in the background, you cannot believe it. And if you think Hollywood's good now, no. In the 30s, I say even the 20s, it never was weirder than during the time of Chaplin, Clara Bow, Fatty Arbuckle, United Artists, Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks, that kind of... Oh my God. And then came this other iteration of this, and this is very interesting. There were many people who came to this country from Eastern Europe, many of them Jewish, many who knew offhand, or firsthand I should say, the pogroms and this fascism, and they fled. Einstein, this influx. Think about this. They fled. They saw what was coming. And they were the harbingers. They were these people, Eastern European, a lot of them. Many of them Jewish, but in fact, one of the best precursors to this was a film or thing that the Three Stooges did about what was coming. Before Chaplin, watch this. Just they were telling you, and we were like, well, whatever, because we just got done with World War I. We don't want to do with that. We're done with this. It was a long time ago. That's just 24 years ago. No, we're done with that. And they're saying, no, this is happening here. This place, this wonderful world. No, they're over here. We're on this side. Don't worry about that. It's none of our business. Stay out of business. So these people came, and they were in charge of movie theaters and movie studios and entertainment. Now understand what's happening now. Remember this. They were patriots like you cannot believe. You call it propaganda, the war effort. They were so patriotic it wasn't even funny. Later on, HUAC, House Un-American Activities Committee. That was also... This is the way I think. Imagine anything. I always have the world here. Imagine these arrows, and these arrows represent vectors. Vectors of causes, problems, changes, influences. These folks. Jack Warner, Goldwyn, I think his name was Goldfish, and then there was Frank Capra, the great. Oh my God, Frank Capra. They were zealots. Hollywood was America. And then somebody said, wait a minute. And this is what I want you to know. Whereas you might want to figure out, hey, I want to join that group. I want to know, how do I control that group? How do I control that group? I don't want to join them. When you hear stories, when you hear about groups, people, you know the names. You know who we're talking about. Since the beginning of mankind, Kennedy talked about it, secret societies, Carol Quigley, this thing about human beings. I want you to understand what's happening. So last night, there was this meeting where each person tried to out-debauch the others. And imagine you are 20, 30 years old, whatever it is, not exactly the brightest person, and you have more money than you can imagine. I know a lot about this. And I know that if you knew how much money, but not just money, because you think of money and you think, well, you can buy things? Well, yeah, but not really. The power, you have no idea. There are people who don't do anything. They don't pay a bill. They don't know anything. They have people who do this and, hey, I'm going to get a house, but I don't know the mortgage. I don't know who's who. I just show up. Studios will pay for it. We'll take care of that. Don't worry about it. And then they hang around with other people. And if I mention to you certain names of people from different times, how they're not arrested, I have no idea. I have no idea. So all of a sudden they meet. Now listen to what I'm saying. They meet and they talk. And in the club, you think, oh, you've got a car? I got 2 cars. Remember when Beamers were big, BMW? All of a sudden, what BMW? What's that? And then the Range Rovers. What's this about? And all of a sudden, there's just this new thing where everybody's got to do it. Oh, French pugs or French bulldogs are like the biggest thing in the world. Just little things. Well, they do it for different reasons. Theirs is, oh yeah, you think you're debauched? I'm debauched. And then you start hanging around, and then your morals drop, and then your sense of right and wrong, and then you're in this world where you think, in order for me to be like this and be famous, I'm going to have to act like this. I told a story in this off. I've known friends who were tangentially involved in it. You have no idea when they move in, and they're going to be here a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. You should see what happens on boats, on yachts. There's an expression, what goes on during yachting, and they go out, and when you show up to these boats, and you're a I don't know, I say a bartender, or you're a cook or a chef. The stuff you have to go through to get onto that, you have no idea. Bringing all your knives, that's my favorite. Bring your knives. Anything you're going to bring that could be a weapon, we want it there. We want to see it. Everybody has ex-intel law enforcement who are working security. They know every trick in the book. They know everybody. They vet you because the connection between them and the government, they are the government. They're the same. It's another world. It's another world. And I kept thinking, as we speak as we are in this beautiful church on the Upper West Side, Hell's Kitchen, across the park, right over there was this. I want you to be able to say, I got it. I never knew it was that complicated. That's it. I know who this is. I know what you're doing. I know how this works. You don't have to know everything. Yesterday I listened to an article, to a lecture by a fellow named Edward Whitten. Ed Whitten is the scariest smart person. Eric Weinstein said he's the smartest person on the planet. And he's talking about things I know nothing about. But I was listening. And what I was hearing was this beautiful world of complexity. It was somebody saying, let me explain this to you. Just listen to what I'm saying. Don't worry about if you understand each step. Listen to it. When you hear beautiful music, you can say, you know what? I don't know how to play any of the instruments. I can't read music. I don't know how to do it. But this is the most. Did you hear the story of a woman, theoretically, who was listening to some passage of Tchaikovsky and then became physically, dare I say, overwhelmed with passion? Okay. But you don't have to understand this. When you see The Godfather, or you see any movie, or Citizen Kane, or whatever it is, you don't have to know how movies work to say, wow. That's what I want you to do. I want you to say, oh, I see. This is so complicated. This is so fascinating. Look what's happening. Bank collapses. What is that about? Keep going. Stop. Can you imagine this? Imagine this. Fox News I'm picking on Fox News because it's so easy. Fox News opens up, they got the morning show, this morning group on, whatever this trio. And one of them looks at the camera and says, let me ask you a question. In the old days when somebody said bank collapse, people really thought it was terrible. They took it, seriously. Bank collapse. Bank collapse. This is not good. Who is doing something about this? Bank collapse. We saw terrible, terrible, terrible stories about that. Now, what do? You've habituated to it. Oh well. The story now of this Budweiser. What is this about? Imagine Ainsley, looking in the camera and saying, what is this about? Why are they telling you this story about Bud? Is it really that important? Is Bud Light really that important? Do you really think that this bar or this demographic doesn't care about groups of people that they would be? Why do you think that is? Why? She will never, not just she, I don't mean pick on her, but they will never make you think. Why do you think the godfather of artificial intelligence is saying all of a sudden, wait a minute, hold it. This is too far. Why do you think that this newest balloon story, what does that mean? What does that mean? Explain that. Explain that to me. What does this mean? What are we doing about this? Now, so far you're being hit with this stuff. Did we ever get to a resolution of this? Imagine, just for whatever it's worth, this morning team, and one of them says, did we ever get to the bottom of this? No. Whatever happened with this? No. Did we clarify? No. Why didn't we answer that question before we moved to the next question? How does this work? What are they trying to tell us? What is the difference between a balloon and a satellite? See, satellites are not as good. Balloons are some of the best things available because they remain static, so to speak, and they can remain right there. Satellites they got to move and you got to wait for the time and all this kind of stuff. What does this mean? What does the Roman Polanski story mean? Why are they telling us that? That's a good one. What do you think that's about? Why is he taking a picture? This is a precursor to restorative justice. What's restorative justice? I'm glad you asked. Let me talk to you about that. What is critical law studies? What does this mean? Critical law studies. Critical law studies were prior to critical race theory. They're called the crits, people who are believing in this. And critical law studies gave us restorative justice, which is being promoted by many of the, and I think Soros he's blamed for Soros and Bill Gates. Whatever goes wrong, they did it. No, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Though he is a firm promoter of some of these particular ideas. But what is critical law studies? The idea of realizing with restorative justice that crime and the prosecution of crime have been handled in such a way that certain people feel the sting, certain people feel the impact, certain people feel that they're involved in the system and others don't. And maybe the best way to address societal problems isn't with more prosecution, but less. To bring victim and perpetrator together. To recognize that a non-carceral, non-incarcerative, a non-penal way of handling this is the best. Maybe that's the way to do it. And how do we do that? By critical legal stuff. This is happening. This is the basis of this. And this, in the 70s, gave rise to what we're seeing now with critical race theory, which hasn't gone away, but that's it. And it's all there. It's there. And then what they'll do is they'll stop. But because they don't want you to, they realize something. We don't want you to really, our job is not to make anybody think. That's my job. I want you to say, wait a minute. I learned about this. And I hope and I pray and I trust, I assume that when we talk about this, you go and you study this on your own. that you become more of an autodidact and learn some of these things and how this stuff works. What is the one issue that keeps you up at night? What is the scariest issue for you? What? We have friends and they're getting married and someone's having a baby shower and this one's saying, oh, that how nice that is. And I think, oh, this poor kid. What's the one issue? One that makes you say, oh boy. What's the one issue that you think is like nothing else? What is the one issue that makes you say, this is existential? This is not just about here. It's not just about America or Europe. It's about the world. What is that one issue? What do you think it is? And we are used to thinking, well, it's obviously nuclear or nuclear. I know somebody who is still saying nuclear, of or pertaining to a nucleus. Nuclear, prostate surgery. Nuclear is a cacoepy, cacoepy. It's a kind of a mispronunciation, kind of a new, it's not a neologism, it's the wrong word. What is it? The one issue where you think, oh boy, and you will never hear this on Fox News. They're actually, I got to say something because it's fascinating. They're going to trash him. Two people you're going to see really, really targeted. Tucker Carlson and Bobby Kennedy Jr. Watch what happens. This is majestic. You have to learn. Watch what they do. It's like when you first saw Mike Tyson fight, you said, wow, that peekaboo style, the way Mike Tyson goes to the side, all of a sudden he's on your side. Nobody ever did this. Look, they fought like this. He's fighting, he's on your side. You ain't seen nothing yet. And now they're introducing a thing about Tucker that doesn't even make any sense. Tucker Carlson, in some unredacted testimony, says that he thinks the Fox News website is terrible. What's wrong with that? While we're on the subject, Tucker Carlson better be very careful because he's straying too far away from the gravity, from the pull. Jon Stewart learned that. Bill O'Reilly learned that. Eventually, you're going to go, yeah. When you hear Tucker Carlson again in the next iteration, wherever he lands, whatever it is, whether it's an extension of Fox News and it's light, whether it's, I don't know, maybe he's on his own and becomes his new Joe Rogan kind of thing. Whatever that is, people are going to say, oh, yeah. Huh. I don't remember him. I remembered him more exciting. No, he was exciting. Well, he's saying things. Yeah. Watch what happens. Watch. Different set. Different, non-Fox. If he's in his home studio and he tells you something, he went from here to here. Joe Rogan went from here to here. It's a different story, different dynamic. Tucker's going to find out. People are going to listen to him. They're going to say, you know what he's saying is really, by the way, Tucker Carlson, you know this. Tucker Carlson is, there are different channels, different people who blow me away in terms of the genius, the information. May not be much to look at, may not be, but it's like a cumulative thing. It's like you hear them in concert with other people as well. I hate to break this to you, and I don't mean any disrespect, and Tucker is great and everything, but what he says is really nothing even remotely earth-shattering. Not at all. You think it is. In your heart of hearts, you believe it is. It's not. These long-winded kind of prefatory, the prolegomenon, the uniparties, it's long. Oh, this is fantastic. Tucker, we've known this. This is old. This is Carol Quigley. This is Tragedy and Hope. This is the left-right paradigm. We know all about that. We know this. Keep going. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it. No, come on, go further. No. I'm not going to do. I'm going to give you the impression that I'm talking to you, but I'm not going to go deep. Really? No. Okay. What are you talking about? UFOs. Remember that? That was one of the most disappointing. With the graphics, are we? We are alone? Question marks with a little, the critter with this flying saucer, and immediately saying cartoon. That didn't matter. If I didn't know better, I'd think he's a limited hangout. He's not telling me anything. He's telling me something that you think is good, but he really isn't. Julian Assange, that's good. That's good. You're not going to hear that. Oh, no. So, remember this. Don't become a fan club of this. Remember what I said when we first started this morning. I said, I want you to be able to say, I know what they're doing. I know what this means. I know where this goes. I understand how, since the beginning of time, we used to see everything was the CIA, but they owned entertainment. They owned Hollywood. They owned everything. They owned everything from art galleries to movies to propaganda to you name it. They controlled everything. They worked in concert. When Walter Winchell works with J. Edgar Hoover to get Lepke Buchhalter. This was in the days of Phil Graham and Mockingbird and the way the OSS worked with organized crime, and it's this incredibly fascinating thing. I'm still magnificently impressed with the complexity of the JFK, and by the way, the RFK. Believe me when I tell you this, and I don't know why, but people don't understand the Robert Kennedy assassination, the stories behind that, the facts. This will blow your mind. And the one question that I never understood, with as great as Bobby Kennedy is doing whatever he's doing with his was it dysphonic, this dysphonia, this spasmodic dysphonia, and the voice and everything. He never ever talked about his father. The facts, as alleged, will blow your mind. I mean, and they're there. It's not anything. All the evidence is there. It's there. As I told these two young ladies, I said, look at this. These are pictures. I showed them some pictures from various events that occurred historically. I said, here, look, this is on Google. Look. I never saw that. It's right there. How did I not know this? I don't know. But now you do. And if forever, I said, let me tell you something. If you think you didn't know that, look what also you don't know. It's fascinating about what people don't know. Why do people believe what they believe? Why do people like magic? Why do people like magic? They know it's a trick. They know that the magician is doing something. And even after you tell them, by the way, you know that how this works, it doesn't matter. Why do they like magic? The skill, prestidigitation, I don't know. I have no idea. Here's something interesting. Going back to the AI. By the way, what scares me is AI and AGI. Absolutely. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Somebody put it this way the other day. What if you ask an AI or artificial general intelligence and said, I have a paperclip company. I forget who said that. I have a paperclip company. What do you... I want you to devise ways for me to increase my market stake in paperclips. And what if the AI, AGI says, okay, we'll just destroy the competition, and goes through, let's say, by virtue of some, what you would call evil. It says, I don't know good and evil. That's your concept. I will get rid of the competition. No, wait. No, it's too late. Remember the 4 things that happen, and Tegmark talks about this. Number 1, recursive self-improvement. When it writes its own code. Number 2, when it learns human psychology. Number 3, when it has access to everything, the internet, all knowledge. And number 4, and this is the most important, when it writes its own API or apps, or it's over. It's done. But yeah, people are worried about nuclear bombs. No. This will... No. This is the... When do you think the last time anybody from Fox News would do this? Oh, I understand. They're McDonald's, and I'm talking about stuff that is not on their plate. They're not going to do this. But I'm telling you right now, you have no idea what is happening, how far advanced it is, and how what you're learning isn't even important. It's almost like the end. It would be like me if the house is on fire, let's assume, and I start talking to you about rapid oxidation, the discovery of fire, how fire has maintained or changed civilization. Meanwhile, it's destroying us, and I'm electing to talk about something that has nothing to do with what's happening right now. And what I want to do is I want to get people on TV who are only interested in how they look, how they are loved, and how much you pay them. I don't want to get anybody like me on TV. You will never see that for obvious reasons. You will never, ever. And one of the things which I appreciate with Tucker is that he does have this sense of, I want to go a little bit further. Oh, no. And we don't like that. We're going to teach you a lesson. Same thing with Bobby Jr. We're going to teach you a lesson. We're going to show you, all right, we haven't flexed our muscles in a while. By the way, here's something else. The other day, John Cleese, this is in the news, a prototypical lefty, as you would call him. Now, for the first time, he's talking about the unfair advantages of biological men in sports. Why do you think he's doing this now? Why did this talk about the cancel culture come out by some? Why was Jerry Seinfeld? Do you think Jerry Seinfeld on his own said, you know what, I don't care what happens to my career or my money, I'm going to speak up on this? John Cleese I think he had to go back on the road to pay his wife, I don't know how many millions of dollars, whatever it was. So the story goes. Why do you think all of a sudden this is happening? Why is Dylan Mulvaney? What does this mean? Are you able to say, I know what you're doing? I know what you're doing. I know what this is about. I know why you're doing this. I understand this. And see, once you say that to the people, oh, you do? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you something. Do you think Trump wants to be president? Think about what I just said. Listen to me. Do you think he wants to be president? Let me rephrase this. Is he acting like somebody who wants to be president? Is he doing what a presidential candidate should be doing? What about Ron DeSantis? What's happening there? Step back. Don't give me a story. Don't talk about Disney, the lawsuits. Step back. Do you know what they're doing? Who's in charge of this? Who's running the show? When is Kamala Harris going to get the heave-ho? That's the word. I don't know if they're telling you this, but there's I don't want to say, it's not a dark web, that's the wrong term, but it's an alternative, some very good sources where the insiders go. She's done. And, you can ask, well, that makes sense. Yeah, but why did it take so long? Who's next? What's happening? Who's in charge of that? And ask yourself this question. Do me a favor today. Do me a favor. Everybody you meet, ask them the following. Why is Hunter Biden in a courtroom in Arkansas? Why? Why didn't somebody go to this woman and say, listen, here's what we're going to do. Not $2.5 million, $5 million. Here's $5 million plus this for you and your college, $5 million. It's in the It's like change in the cushion of my car when we had cushions. Listen to me, I'm dating. You go away. It never gets to this point. It never gets to this point. Okay? They won't know your name. You're not going to go in Daily Mail. You're not going to say, but, and if you do, the deal's over. You understand that? The deal is over. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Good. This could have been done a long time ago. You would have never known anything about this. Why is why is Hunter anywhere to be found? Why? Why didn't they say, listen, you're going to go away? Do you know can you name all the Kennedy family? No, it's like 1,000 of them. You know Bobby Jr., you may know Rory, you may know, I think Max Kennedy worked for Fox for a while. I don't know if he did for a while. You may know Kathleen, isn't she like she was the, Caroline, you know. That's it. You just never know any of these. Nothing. So why are you hearing about Tucker? I keep saying Tucker. Hunter. Why? Why are they doing this? If he goes away, you can hide in plain sight by just giving people 3 days, no comment, and that's it. Somebody's behind this. Somebody says, no, I want him there. I want him there. He's there for a purpose. What's the purpose? What? That's what I want to know. There's a reason for it. And you come up with hypotheses. You're not going to get a straight answer, but that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to sit there and be like Fox News is. Well, here he is. He's getting out of the car, and he's shaking hands with the court officer, and he's wearing a blue suit and an off blue pastel. No, I don't care about that. Why is this happening? How does he stand before a court and plead under oath, penury? I don't have any money. Hold it. You know what perjury is, right? Are you kidding me? He's drawing paintings. I'm going to leave it right there. I want you to know why they do things. I don't care whether you know what they did. But I want you to be able to say, like that woman I told you, this friend of ours, I know what you're doing. I'm on to you. And if everybody says that, not just the Democrats, but the Republicans and everybody, I know what you're doing. When you go to the store and you say, this big bag of Cheetos, look, there's nothing in there. I know what you're doing. I understand what's happening here. I understand why these lights are flashing. I understand why I understand this. You're not fooling me. Once you tell somebody, it's like once you say, I see you hiding back there, it's not camouflage anymore. You know those ghillie suits and the snipers? If you go, there he is. See him? It's right there. There's no more camouflage. Now you know. You just defeated the whole system. I want you to know why they do things. I want you to always ask, what's the purpose? What's the motivation? What's really behind this? Okay? Think about that. Now, a couple of things here. I want you to follow Mrs. L. Do what I say at Lynn's Warriors. Very important. Number 2, follow her on Twitter at Lynn's Warriors, LYNNS_Warriors. I'm at Lionel Media. Watch what I do. Watch what I write. Lionel Media. And this is a wonderful chance for you and I to speak daily. Of course, I want you to like this. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to LionelNation, to this YouTube channel, if you haven't, and you've somehow found this, I don't know what to tell you. This is critical for our movement. I'm not interested in doing headlines. I don't want to sit there and say, here's a headline. Yeah. But what? The Met Gala, I can't even tell you about that. I can't even go into detail. The stuff I've known, the stuff I've seen, and the stuff I've heard about Hollywood in particular and what that represents. And when I see this Anna Wintour and this sycophantic, these lickspittles and bootlickers, this fawning, obsequious, I don't know what to do. Ask yourself, why? All right, my friends, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you for your support and your love. Please follow us again. Follow us. Like this video. I can't say enough. See you tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. Always remember, and don't forget, as we always end with this valedictory, the monkey's dead, the show's over, sue ya, ta-ta.